Welcome again to Shorshim. We tried doing a live podcast on Facebook. The sound was horrific, so I want to present it again. And bear with me, I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel and then hopefully bring it back to Facebook. So again, I apologize about the sound on that first one. Please stay with me. We're going to focus on a fascinating word found in this week's Torah portion. The Torah portion is Kitavot, Deuteronomy 26, 1 to 29, 8. August 30th, the 10th of Elul. And the word is actually the first word. And within that first word of the Torah portion is the secret to having joy, anticipating joy in our lives. So let's begin. The Torah portion of Kitavot describes the mitzvah of bringing the first fruits of one's produce to Jerusalem, to the temple. And remember, it's not just fruits, it's first fruits. There's something about bringing those first fruits that is a joyous occasion, something we're going to talk about later this week. And the Torah portion starts this way: VeHaya ki tavo la'aretz asher Hashem Elokecha noten lecha nachala v'yirashta v'yashavta ba. It'll be when you enter the land that Hashem your God gives you as inheritance. You shall take the first of every fruit, you shall put it in a basket, and go to the place that Hashem your God will choose. And after completing the whole ceremony of bringing the first fruits, the farmers commanded the following: and you shall rejoice in all the good which Hashem has given unto you. Seriously? You're being commanded to rejoice? Joy comes from somewhere inside. It's got to be something you choose, something you need to move into. What is it about that declaration of Hashem, you shall rejoice? Maybe he's not even commanding us. Maybe he's telling us, I'm going to teach you how to do that. Perhaps some understanding that can be gleaned from the first word of the Torah portion, like I said before. The word is VeHaya, and it will be when you come into the land which Hashem your God gives you for inheritance, you possess it and settle in it. We're told by the Midrash Rabbah that the word VeHaya always is the code word for joyful anticipation. Something good is going to happen. And Rav Shmuel ben Nachman actually came and declared any place where it says Vayehi, and it was, that signals distress. When it says it shall be, Vahaya, it signals rejoicing. Therefore, our sages teach us the words Vahaya be made was in the days of, in a verse, we're to expect sorrow, we're to expect tragedy, challenges. We see it in the book of Esther. Vayihi b'mei Achashverosh, and it came to pass, Vayihi, in the days of Achashverosh. We see it again in the book of Ruth. It came to pass, and it came to pass in days when the judges judged, there was a famine in the land, Ruth 1:1. We see it again in Isaiah, and it came to pass in the days of Achaz, the son of Yotam, the son of Uzziah, etc., when they came up to war against Jerusalem, and etc. Meaning, Vayihi always denotes that impending difficulties. On the other hand, the word Vahaya, according to our sages, always denotes joy or anticipated happiness. We see an example of that in the Torah portion of the Akev, where it says, and it shall come to pass, Vahaya, because ye hearken to these ordinances and keep them and do them, that Hashem thy God shall keep with thee thy covenant and mercy which he swore unto your fathers. Then again in this week's Torah portion, it shall be when Hashem God bring you into the land which he swore unto his fathers to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And again, in Deuteronomy 11, and Vehaya, and it shall come to pass, you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Hashem your God, to serve him with all your heart, all your soul, with all your soul. I will give the rain of your land in its season, etc., Meaning, Vehaya always denotes this anticipated joy. Our sages point to the similarity in the construction of these two words. Both of them take a verb. One is in the past, and the vav that's added to it, the connecting letter, is actually called the vav hipuch sometimes. It switches it around. It takes a verb that's in the past, by adding that vav, it pushes it into the future, or the other way around. So here, the word vayihi is fascinating because it's made up of the letter vav and the word yehi, which is actually a word in the future tense. Yehi, it shall be. Vayehi, and it was. Same thing, vahaya. It takes the word haya, is something in the past, and we add that vav, hahipuch, to the beginning, and suddenly what was in the past is suddenly, and it shall be, in the future. That's critical. That's critical to understand. Our past and our future are intricately connected. Yet the way that connection is made greatly affects our present sense of who we are. Meaning, there are those who are imprisoned by the past. And because they're imprisoned by the past, they even take the possibilities of the future, yehi, and they throw it back to the past. They're stuck, they're imprisoned there. That's always a sign of impending disaster. If you cannot break away from mistakes, things you've done in the past, and move into the future, you're condemned to experience more difficulties. And the other way, VeHaya, take what you've gone through in your life, even though it may have been challenging, and take it into the future. VeHaya, make the past connected to that future destiny and that future hope that Avinu Shebashmaim, our Father in heaven, wants for all of his children, to know there is a purpose and a destiny. And suddenly, all those challenges become the building blocks of your future happiness. So the secret is to focus on where we're all heading with all this. And suddenly, all the challenges that we've gone through in our past suddenly becomes joyful, suddenly becomes anticipation of joyful. And as a result, in the end, we're all going to be experiencing that famous verse in Zechariah, Vaya Hashem lemelech hakol ha'aretz bayom yeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad. It shall come to pass, V'haya, that Hashem shall be king over all the earth, and that day Hashem will be one, and his name will be one. Joy that will definitely come when we can take all that we've gone through, refashion it in the vision of the future, and suddenly it becomes a joyful possibility. Thank you all for listening to us. Good morning to all those that are going to be waking up a little later. Good afternoon to all of you, those in Jerusalem. And again, our appreciation for you being part of us, even though we're so far apart from each other, and you haven't been able to come here yet, and you will. We urge you or ask you to join us at our website, www.shorashimshop.com. And if there are items there that you think you'd like, please feel free. We're trying to reduce the prices to make it, because every investment you make, and only if it's something you truly like, supports what we're trying to do, which is to bring Torah into the world as much as possible. So join us there. Join us on our YouTube channel, Shorashim Insights on YouTube, where we're going to try to put all our teachings, including the one we're doing right now. Our name study, we're working on it. Hopefully that will come soon. And one more thing, I want to give you an email, shorashimshop@yahoo.com. We've been receiving questions from people on an issue, on a thought, on a verse. First of all, we love to answer them. But secondly, it is those questions that will be the future material we want to present to others. Because if you have that question, so does somebody else. So please feel free to write us. Thank you again, and the hitrot. Until the next time, shalom.